we're going to use midpoint to solve for an endpoint. So we have our midpoint formula here, and normally what happens is you're given a pair of coordinates, so two sets of coordinates, and you plug them into your midpoint formula because they're both the endpoints of a line, and you find the middle of the line. Essentially, we have our two endpoints, and we find where the coordinate of the middle would be. But in the question we're about to deal with, they've given us an endpoint and the midpoint, and we're unsure what the other endpoint would be. So we're going to roughly sketch this on a graph, okay, just to start, so we have a general idea where we should end up. The first point, the x value is -3 and +2, so maybe here we'll call that maybe point A for argument's sake. Okay, the midpoint, I'm going to call that M, is at 1 and -4. Okay, so if that's the midpoint, just using some kind of estimating and logic, we're probably around here for some other endpoint, right? If we call that E, that's probably our other one. I guess I'll write it as, we'll call him B in this case. He's probably here, but how do we get there, right? Well, we can actually use this midpoint formula. Okay? So I'm going to take it and we're going to deconstruct it. So xm, comma, ym. Okay. And what we're going to do is I'm actually going to write xm. Really, the midpoint formula, xm is just equal to this. And it's actually a whole different formula for ym. Ym is actually equal to this. This comma is not really connecting the two. So instead of writing it out the way we normally do, I'm going to split this. Okay? I'm going to write that xm is equal to x1 plus x2 divided by 2. Okay? And we don't need this bracket anymore. So that's our first one, which was what, yellow? Yeah, we'll keep it as yellow. Okay, so this is for xm. And for ym being the midpoint, that's technically equal to y1 plus y2 divided by 2, right? And that was our green. Do you follow me so far?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's take our information. We called things A, M, and B, right? We called this guy technically my B. Well, we really should have numbered them because in our formula we used numbers 1 and 2. So let's do that in purple. This will be my x1 and my y1. Okay. And since this is the midpoint, this will actually be my xm and my ym. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we're going to replace those in each of these formulas. It's kind of like a substitution. So we actually have a value for xm. xm is the number 1. So 1 is equal to x1, which is -3, plus x2 over 2. So I've built a formula here. And my goal will be to actually isolate for, whoops, I didn't want that color I wanted. Oh my. There it is. Did that one more time. There you go. We want it yellow here. Our goal is to isolate for this x2. So we're going to bring 2 to the other side. That'll be our first step. When I bring it over, what do I need to do? What operation? Do you know? Because
multiply?
Because that's division, we're going to multiply. So this becomes the value of 2. Okay. So 2 is equal to -3 plus x2. Okay. And if I were to move the number 3, or sorry, -3 all the way to the other side, what would it become on the other side?
A positive.
That's right. So we get 2 plus 3 is equal to, I don't need a positive there anymore, is equal to x2. So x2 is what? What number here if we add those together?
5.
That's right. Excellent. So our x2 is 5, which kind of makes some sense. Remember, this one was technically -3. This one here was at 1. So at 5 is where our b is going to be. That's what it would be in line with. Okay. And our ym, let's do the same thing. Ym is technically -4. So -4 is equal to y1 was our value of 2 plus y2 over 2. Do you think you can walk me through this one?
Okay.
Okay, so what would I do as my next step?
You take 2 and you multiply it.
Yeah. Do you know what it'll equal on the left side when we do that? You can use a calculator.
-8.
Yeah, great. What will be on my right side?
And then it's 2 plus y2.
Great. And then what? Now what?
And then we take the 2 and put it to the other side. So -8 minus 2.
Excellent. -8 minus 2 equals
y2.
Uh-huh. So what is y2 equal to? Give that a try.
-10.
Excellent. There you go. So that is your coordinate, which makes sense because it's all the way down here, so it's probably -10. So the coordinate of B was actually 5 and -10. So we used our midpoint formula, and we just kind of broke it up and turned it into a substitution question to isolate for a variable. Okay? We'll say I wanted to check, right? Well, if I want to check this, because this is my new coordinate, so I'm going to go write that beside my B here. I'm going to show you how we would check. We said it was 5 and -10. Well, if we wanted to check this, I'm going to quickly do it in my head here, okay? But this would be our x2 and our y2. Okay, so this is my x2 and y2, which means we can plug these in to our midpoint formula, this, and this, and we should end up with this part as our midpoint. Okay, so I'm going to quickly think about this. -3 plus 5, that's going to give me a value of 2. Okay, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. That's what my x midpoint was. And -10 plus 2 is -8. -8 divided by 2 is -4. So that's exactly that midpoint formula. So that's what we would check. We would just kind of plug that all back in.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.